10 acres, a private pond, an in-ground pool, a workshop, and it sold for $457,000, and it's about 45 minutes east of Dallas. I'm Kenneth Holland. I'm your local Dallas-Fort Worth residential friendly realtor. And if you're looking for a home here in the East Dallas-Fort Worth area with more land and less houses around, be sure to call me or text me. Before real estate, I spent over 20 years running a construction company. So when I walk a piece of property, I'm not just looking at what looks good on a listing. I'm reading the land, the drainage, the grade, the soil, and what the structures are actually worth and what's going to cost you the money after closing. This property in Kaufman County just sold for $457,500. I want to walk it with you honestly, what I love about it, what I'd flag, and what I'd do if it were mine. So let's go ahead and let's look at this. Let's start from the air, because from the ground, you can't fully appreciate what 10 acres actually looks like. What you're seeing here is a mix of mature oak canopy on the back half of an open cleared pasture up front. That matters because you've got options. You can either run animals on the cleared ground, you can even build on it, or you can have room just to breathe. From up here, you can also see the pond sitting right next to the house and the creek. That creek is listed as year-round. I'd want to verify that in a dry season visit, but if it holds, that's a meaningful feature on 10 acres. Okay, so this is another thing that's real neat. This property is ag exempt, which means your tax basis is calculated on agricultural value, not market value. On 10 acres at this price point, it's going to save you a lot of money. Now let's talk about the pond, because this is the feature that made the property special in my opinion. You can see from the drone that it's a full private pond with a dock. That is not a retention pond. This is a fishing pond. I want to be straight with you on this thing. In these aerial shots, you can see the water has a green tint. That's algae. Very common in Texas ponds during summer, especially during dry stretches. It doesn't necessarily mean the pond is unhealthy in any way. Okay, so what I would do before buying is have the pond assessed. Find out if it's stocked, how deep it is, and whether it has any natural inflow or if it depends on the rainfall. Those are the questions I'd be asking concerning this pond. But here's the bottom line. A private fishing pond on 10 acres, 45 minutes east of Dallas, that sold for under $500K. You are not finding that in Rockwall or Heath. This is what Kaufman County still offers. Let's come down to ground level and let's talk about the house. It's built in 1986, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,800 square feet. And I want to be up front. If you're expecting a renovated farmhouse with quartz countertops and a designer kitchen, this isn't that. That's also part of why it sold for under $500,000 on 10 acres. But what it does have is the front porch, full length of the house, covered with a metal roof, string lights, stone columns. If you want a place to sit and watch sunsets over an open pasture, this porch would have delivered that for you. Okay, this house sits on pier and beam foundation, typical for a 1986 rural East DFW build. That's not a red flag, but it's something to inspect carefully and something a suburban buyer coming from slab on grade homes need to understand. Okay, inside, the living room has wood floors and a stone fireplace. That's real burning wood fireplace, and it anchors the room nicely. The layout is open between the living room and the kitchen, which makes the 1,800 square feet feel bigger than it is on paper. The kitchen has more of a galley layout with butcher block countertops, functional, honest, and actually a style that a lot of buyers prefer over the generic of a production home. Okay, you've got a dishwasher, electric range, recessed lighting, and a pantry with a utility room off the back. It's a working kitchen. It's not a showpiece kitchen, but it's still nice. Downstairs, really like down a few steps, there's a second living area with its own private entrance and a wood burning stove. The MLS lists this as the flexible 3rd bedroom space. For someone thinking about multi-generational living, a home office with private entry or a guest suite, this is worth knowing about. It has its own stair and its own door right to the outside. Okay, brace yourself. Now I want to show you the pool. And I'm going to be straight with you here because you can see it from the drone anyway. The pool is not operating. The MLS noted that it needs to be inspected and serviced before use. When you look at the aerial, you can see it empty. That's the honest condition. Okay, so here's how I think about that with 20 years in construction. The infrastructure is in the ground. The shell is there. What you're inheriting is the restoration project, not a build from scratch pull project. Before you make any offer on a property like this, you want a pull inspection. Find out whether there are any structural concerns, what it costs to get it running. A few $100s for that inspection could save you a significant surprise after closing. But here's the bottom line. It's a known condition. It was disclosed and it was priced into this deal. That's how it should work. It's not a deal killer in my opinion. Let me give you my honest construction read on this property. This house is on a pier and beam foundation, which is typical for a 1986 rural East DFW property. If you're used to buying slab on grade homes in the suburbs, you need to know how these foundations behave differently, what maintenance looks like. Get it inspected, that's table stakes. The septic is aerobic, more sophisticated than a conventional tank. It's registered with the county, which is the right status. Aerobic systems need regular service contracts, budget for that annually. It's not too bad. I actually have aerobic on my property. From the drone footage, the lot grading looks reasonable. The land slopes towards the pond, which is generally by design on a property like this. That's what you want to see. Okay, now here's the number that matters when you're thinking about a house with land and what its value. This property sold for just under $46K per acre in Kaufman County on 10 acres with a pond, a workshop, and a concrete slab already in the ground. That is a meaningful data point for what this corridor offers right now. Okay, so here's the honest summary. 10 acres in Kaufman County, a private pond, a workshop, a 40 by 50 slab with plumbing and electric already stubbed, and a really cozy 3-bedroom house, all for $457,500. Yes, the pool needs work. The workshop is well used. The house is 1986, not 2024, and the land is genuinely beautiful. That's what the East DFW acreage market actually looks like right now for under $500K. Properties with this much land, this close to Dallas, at this price point, they don't sit. This one obviously sold. I'm Kenneth Holland, your local Dallas-Fort Worth residential friendly realtor, and if you're looking for a home here in the East Dallas-Fort Worth area with more land and less houses around, I can help you with that. Be sure to call me.